Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and I'm joined this time by Zan. So it's
Hello.
turn 48, and the world is a huge shit show. Ulm and Lemuria are fighting.
Ooh,
Ulm is looking in a really bad spot because they're also getting stabbed by Abyssia in the back, which is the fate of most people who choose to fight Lemuria. Perhaps the most interesting thing there's a few interesting things going on right now. Maybe the most interesting is Calum attacking Lemuria, because it looks like Calum has put together an army which can just murder thousands of ghosts in a few turns. So this will be really interesting. The other thing that's kind of interesting is Statist and Phlegra have been kind of jousting, and we thought Statist was going to roll out. They moved their whole army out, and then it went back to their capital last turn. So we haven't had you with us, Zan, for a couple episodes, so you'll probably, you're going to know all the nations, but the game state may be a little unfamiliar.
I remember we were trying to predict about half of what you just said.
Okay.
That was the last time.
All right, so let's start off with some messages. We've got the message from Arco. I may not be long for this world. I built my bless and picked my research for army contests. Did not pay enough attention to the possibility of thug rushes. I'll still stick to it and try to figure out a solution to this horrible combination of Ryujin thugs, ninjas decimating my commanders. Ooh, that's a whole layer we can't see. But I am not hopeful. I think, actually, I would be interested in your opinion on this, Zan. I give you at least one good army fight. That fulfills my goals for this game. Salutations from the Knitting Circle. So, Arco had been fighting. Oh God. Okay. Well, let's just watch it. There's no way to keep the spoilers. This is their big army, and Jomen has arrived with the Earth Snake.
What are those? Those aren't storm demons. Those are
These are Tengu.
Okay, Tengu.
They're pretty sick. And so his front line is Akaoni Samurai, who have a super high attack sword. 16 attack katana is crazy for a scales troop.
And 13 defense without a shield.
And then a bunch of Ashigaru, which we've seen many a times. And then I guess it's the attack animation. Yeah. Makes these bows look crazy. But yeah, these guys who are also pretty badass. A longbowman with the 15 attack katana. What's up, guys? Mm-hmm. Then a bunch of Tengu. He's got a fair number of these, however you say it, Omanoji, who can jump into communions and basically cast most spells in the game. They come in a ton of flavors. And a few Master Shugenja. And
I'm more interested in that Tengu commander.
Pink shirt.
Pink shirt?
Oh, yeah. So we're probably going to see Mass Flight is my guess. Because you can't... Yeah, I mean, he's got a numbers advantage, and he's got a bunch of chaff. He has about twice as many troops.
I mean, Arco was really favoring those Vandar warriors the last I checked. So if that guy pops Fog Warriors...
Fog Warriors would be great, but he can't. He's only Air 3. You have to be Air 4 to Fog Warriors. Because Fog Warriors is an Air 4 spell that costs 3 gems. So if you're Air 3, you can only put 3 gems in it. You can't do the extra gem to overcast.
Fair. I mean, you could technically storm power and all that, but the fight might be half over by then.
Teaching Signs. Oh. Teaching Signs and then Fog Warriors. Didn't think of that.
Oh.
All right, I think you called it. All right, let's see what happens.
Where's Robsio? Where's Robsio?
Oh, Mass Protection.
Okay.
I think we'll see Fog Warriors in a hot second. Do we have Aerofin? We have Aerofin, too. Ooh. What did he cast for his second spell? Fog Warriors preparing to cast.
There it is. Yeah. Because I know Arco has the magic weapons, but he's using a lot of those Vandar warriors.
I mean, even still, Fog Warriors is nice for damage reduction on your first hit.
Yep. Especially when most of your army is these militia Shigaru guys.
Oh, so what are all the buffs they have? They have Mass Protection. They've got Aerofin Fog Warriors. Looks like, a lot of them got hit by Strength of Giants. We have anti-magic. Got anti-magic.
Mhm.
Oh god.
It's a
What was
good
all
suite.
that? Is it Doom?
Doom from
Okay.
Jomen
Curse of Stones.
and a
huh.
Curse of Stones.
Usually you want Curse of Stones to be turn 1 if you do it. Because the way Curse of Stones works is it procs every tile you move. So once you're in combat, it's not quite as good.
Oh, fair. Well, maybe he's trying to help fatigue. Does it add encumbrance
does add a bit of encumbrance. Oh my god. I went to go look at the back line. The front line's disappearing.
Yaris, bro. Yaris.
These guys are paralyzed too. How are they getting paralyzed?
Oh, man.
Wait, what is going on here?
Omnio GR. That looks like
That is
Petrify.
what that is. Yeah, okay.
That's
Is
a
Petrify?
Petrify.
It's not AoE though, is it?
That's what.
Is it really?
It's AoE 1. AoE 1, there's no magic check, or there's no check
Yeah,
to get
I
petrified.
remember
It just
that part.
happens. There's a check at the end
For
if you
some reason, I
survive.
didn't think it was AoE 1. That's better than that's pretty big actually. But yeah, I mean, it looks like you're right
Yeah,
because
petrify is crazy.
it's hitting whole tiles. That's a kind of big deal.
Yeah.
Damn.
So what's Arco up to?
Well, let's take a look. I mean, we've
It's
got
a lot of mystics.
no battlefield-wide buffs. The problem for Arco is that I think Jomen's fighting him when he gets to like this mid-game timing and he has battlefield stuff. Arco's had all his mages running around fighting Jomen, and then Agartha stabbed him, and then he's been running around fighting Agartha. He nobody's home to research.
But hold on. Okay, so I like the Curse of Stones better just because I think Bandars have low MR, but that's a... So, well, this is the thing that I personally pitch on Arco the Nation a lot.
Right.
Mystics are elemental mages, and I don't feel most people use them as such. Like, a good chunk of fire elementals would have made this fight a lot
that's true.
easier.
I mean, he had,
For
especially
Arco.
if you expected mass protection.
Yeah, I always tell people try to avoid communioning your mystics so you can focus on the elemental aspect of them. But yeah, that's unfortunate. I saw him casting Far Strike. That's a cool spell.
Yeah, I mean, you get so many different flavors. I feel like you can, if you get a double in a path, it makes a lot more sense to. Well, that guy cast Earth Power.
So how I usually recommend it is, yeah, a double in a path that never joins a communion. And then wide paths are good slaves. Like one that has one in every path is a good slave, and then one that has like Astral one and then one other path, those are good masters because they won't burn out your slaves.
Okay.
It's finicky. It's yeah.
Yeah, it seems
not
like there's a
intuitive.
lot of. Arco, I think, is a nation with a pretty high skill cap.
Oh,
And
100%.
you can also do things like, especially if you carry Banner of the Northern Star, do like a turn 1 Power of the Spheres. All of a sudden you're up to Astral 3, but you're also up to 2 in all these other ones, which lets you do like Phoenix Power, Earth Power.
So that's one of the things I did a lot in middle-aged Arco because they have those recruitable S3 mages, and that really puts Astral on the table. But again, it's Astral without needing communions. That was very clean.
Yeah,
Vigilant.
I mean, he did all the things. Let's watch this again. I do want to see what Arco is doing.
Yeah.
I like that Arco wants to fight. Like, Arco's been at war. He's been just chasing armies around with this army. Sermon of Courage, Mind Burn, Earth Power, Gifts of Flight, Animate Dead, Gift of Flight, Sermon of Courage, Strength of Giants. Okay. Probably Strength of Giants is going to hit a lot of your bodyguards here. I don't think this is like super well thought out for what to do.
I mean, I like the composition of using those Bandar warriors alongside the Sacred Hoplite, because one of the issues with the Sacred Hoplite is if you pack 5 into a square, your actual battle line is small. You get flanked. The Bandar have the opposite thing, where they're only 2 to a square. So I like that combination, but he's keeping the Bandar home. Which, in this case worked out against the Flyers. But I just think...
I think he brought all these mages, but they
his
didn't
spells were not impactful.
have super high impact things to do. I mean,
They didn't do anything.
this is just the army returning to fight Agartha. The Skelly Spam was actually a pretty important part of fighting Agartha. And the Mind Burns and stuff helped too, but he's not getting like a ton of return on each mage he's using. And
yeah, he brought a lot.
It's game over for him now.
You see, so 21 mage mystics, and most of them went into a communion. And again, this is not intuitive. This is not intuitive for new players, but what I always try to pitch is if you give him a gem, like let's say he's Fire 1, you give him a Fire gem, cast Phoenix Power, or Phoenix Power. He's Fire 2, and now you just have a Fire 2 doing things, rather than an extra slave. Leave your slaves to have...
One problem here is he was coming
one big
like...
spell.
This army's been out in the field, so it's, you know, he would have had to have done some good things with like gym mules to make that happen. But if you have a big fight, it's like
it is a new player game.
It's worth it.
Yeah. So magic aside, I like his composition though.
So it's cool. The other thing we were going to talk about is how to handle all these Ryujin, and they are just running everywhere. What would you do?
Well,
are they still thugging? Most of them are not thugging. Most of them are casting like a water elemental or something. Yeah.
Well, actually, this is something I learned from you in your Uber game, and I was Pangea trying to raid you.
I was kind of baiting.
Mystics are really good at summoning elementals.
I knew what you'd say, but that's what I was thinking too.
You did that to me, and then in that middle-aged Arco game, I was getting raided by whatever the Nabad ladies are.
Malika.
And that I just put a mystic in every province to summon elementals. Yeah. Malikas.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a very cheap, efficient way to do it. Get your mages out of the labs.
That's right. Okay. So I think the game state now is Arco's dead. Jomen's going to eat them. And, you know, Jomen's pretty big now after this move. Like, this is going to be really good for him. However, this is going to be his first cap, right? He's kind of like big, and it's his kind of like diagonal war, so he's kind of pissed off people and taking more land along the way. But it's turn 48. He's getting his second cap, it looks like. That seems fair to me. But his score graph, he's up on a clear number 1 now.
I love Agartha. Oh no.
I think one thing, I'd be interested, Razia hasn't been able to join us. No, he was there for the last one, but I should have asked him while he was here. I feel like if you're playing Jomen, you want to fort all these, and I think you just go super hard into Ryujin. It's so expensive to keep pumping, because they're not cheap, you know? How much are they? Yeah, almost 300 gold a piece. So they're slow to recruit, but if you have 4 forts making them, that's like 600. It's 600 gold.
It's 140 a turn per fort.
Total. So
yeah,
and you know, after upkeep, let's say he's making 3,000 gold a turn right now, but his upkeep is 1,500. That's half of his money. That's a lot of money. I don't know if that's the play. Like, do you put that much money into Ryujin? Just more Ryujin, more better? Or is there something better to do? I don't know. I'd be interested.
Sounds like he needs a second
What's
job.
up, dude? You snuck in.
Hello. I have joy.
Welcome.
Hello. I couldn't let Zan have any action by himself.
Oh, gosh. Well, it could be similar, and actually, Grippa, it's great that you're here. I don't know Jomen's mages very well, but it could be similar to something we did in Grippazan, where your combat mage is expensive, but you have a cheap researcher at home. So like you just get as soon as the region comes out, you
these guys
fight
are
with him
cheap.
if he dies. Oh well.
And they're slow to recruit, though, right? So
that's perfect. That's 70 gold a turn per fort.
You can't get them everywhere. You can only get them in mountains and highlands, the Master Shugenjas, but they're getting now more pricey.
Oh, but those are useful. Earth Nature. Good. That's those two mages are fantastic.
These, you can do a lot of things. And then you got these guys, which if you have magic scales, are probably your most budget researcher. Maybe these when you're factoring in upkeep with Magic 3. But it's
that guy's a lantern
I don't know.
there.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd get that one. I like it. I would. I think I. That's an interesting one. I feel like Jomen wants, and they have primitive forts too. I feel like that nation wants to spam forts on land to slow to recruit these Omni OGs, and then on the water for the region. Yeah, I think as someone who's never played them, I think I would fort every single water province and have them all doing region, and have all my land ones doing the other mage. And maybe you have to even be careful on which turn each happens, because all of it is slow to recruit. So like, I don't know if
Jomen size before this Arco war, you would have your cap and maybe one other land fort, and then you'd have
well, just as a overarching strategy of maybe what you want to try to do, because then you just stagger the gold. One turn you pay for the region, the next turn you pay for the Omni.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's you can kind of just reduce it to how much does each fort draw, and you don't want more upkeep. I mean, you don't want more forts than you can essentially pay for mage recruitment in at a bare minimum.
Well, they're super cheap. 70 gold a turn per fort, or 140 a turn per fort. That's a lot less than most nations pay.
But you also probably want to make some troops. But I mean, between all these, like 600 gold for 4 underwater forts a turn is a lot. I think, and making stuff, I don't know. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. Was there a battle here? Bogarus pings this. So, okay, let's look at, maybe we got a message from Jomen too. Can't believe people would leave me these lakes for me. How very thoughtful of them. But I'm personally excited about this turn. If it goes as I'm expecting, there should be an interesting battle. Only question I have is what is he planning to do with his god? 149 is an obvious choice since he can gem bait returning in anticipation of battle. 133 or patrol and defend his cap. I forget what his god is.
Probably Great Sage, as is
I'm hoping I have enough Earth Mages to counter a Statue of War. Oh, well, if it's a Statue of War, I can't really move. Unless he has... What was his Bless? Does he have a teleporting Statue of War?
Yeah, he does. He has magic weapons.
Yeah, Arco's the only nation that's a magic
Okay, so he's Fire Shock resistance,
nice
attack 6.
Oh!
And then,
wow.
Okay, because Statue of War is Earth Fire.
That's a super solid plus.
But he couldn't magic phase the god onto this army because it's outside of a fort. He could magic phase inside.
I think he said province 131.
Oh,
he was thinking he might magic phase onto. Oh, yeah, he does have a statue, or it's in his capital. I saw it in a quarter of a second. You moused over it.
I knew he had a Statue of War. I just assumed it wasn't teleport capable, but it looks like it is. So to finish his message, I'm hoping to have enough Earth Mages to counter a Statue of War, but I haven't tested anything and don't have a solid understanding of their research. Let's take a look at their research real quick. Arco probably was really good. Yeah, well, they're middle of the pack, but I mean, God, look at this. Look at when this is when the war with Jomen started, and it has just been flatline. And meanwhile, like at this point in time, Jomen was like 20% higher than them, basically the same tier of technology. But in the meantime, Jomen has more than doubled their tech, so they're like different technological eras in the game.
Oh, yeah. Poor Arco.
The importance of Windows.
Also, I think this kind of highlights, and I think this is an important thing for like new players, is like when and how to use mages. So like a very good thing Arco did was when he was going to have important fights, he committed his mages with his army. But then he was like running around and chasing things with that army, with all the mages in it for all those turns. And if you have to do that, you have to do that. But you really don't want to do that. Like, you need to be looking for diplomatic solutions out of that. Like, it's better to give this fort away for, to Agartha probably, than to have your entire mage corps chasing down his army for 10 turns. Because then this happens.
Oh, yeah.
I had that happen once. And a middle-aged Agartha was doing it to me. The player had just given up and was just circling my territory, but you have to chase it because it's Agartha. Right. They have infinite siege strength.
Yeah.
A hard one. Yeah, eventually, out-teched it,
Yeah.
and then that's how I was able to take it down.
Okay, so that's these guys. I want to go next to Ulm and Lemuria. Okay, quick update. I'm redirecting most of Ulm front to hopefully deal with Calum. Okay, that was what we thought would happen. Even though I still don't really want a war with them, and they've ghosted me, ha ha ha, in Diplo, I have no idea about what they want. In view of spooky graphs I get to see from Eyes of God and risk-free eating of Arco, I'm trying to drum up an anti-Jomen coalition awareness, even though I don't have much influence to do so. They don't seem too far from game-threatening power. So that's actually really good. So they put up Eyes of God semi-recently, but before there hadn't really been much you could do to drum up spookiness about Jomen. Like, this is nothing. You're not going to, like, if you were to cut the graph off here, you can't use this graph to say, don't worry about me as Lemuria, worry about Jomen. It's probably not going to work. But here, we're starting to see something like, okay, there's a trend here.
Concern.
It's not like alarm, you don't have to, like, freak out, but it's like, there's something happening. Income, gym income, double the next player, double the next Lemuria. Like, if Lemuria takes his own graph out and shows this to people will probably start freaking out. Okay.
Yeah, there's no good choices for some people.
Okay. Message from Ulm. Hello again. I'll try to send shorter messages in the future, but I'm making up for lost time. A couple of MVPs last turn. The Vampire Thug, this was the Bloodhoff, worked out well against Abyssia and the Bakemono Chief. Soloing the province was great fun. He's getting a new nickname. I'm still working on counters to the Lemurian army. Not much I could do to contend the throne fort. Calum seems confident that they can deal with the god if it teleports over to them, so hopefully that happens. Without the god, I think I can beat the army in the long run. Calum has also offered help to me against Abyssia, should we beat Lemuria. That'll be great fun, but I'm just trying to survive in good shape at the moment. Going to try to beat the Abyssia stack on my eastern fort this turn, using a communion, so hopefully I don't burn them out. The problem with this, though, is the Abyssian army was so much bigger than anything Ulm could bear. So he would have to really outplay Abyssia, I think. I have all the unique Ulm vampires now, and will have alt 6 next turn, so they can cast Soul Vortex without me using an expensive item on Thug. Right, because he had used the Bone Armor, which I almost never see, but it worked really well, even though it lowered his protection a lot. But yeah, I could see, if you're doing a construction rush and you have good Thugs, I can totally see making a Bone Armor now, whereas I couldn't really see that before. They have poison resistance and Soul Vortex, and Soul Vortex will be good against Rigor Mortis. My medium to long-term strategy is to get up to Conjuration 7 to get Wraith Lords, and then play heavily into the Immortal game. If we can defeat Lemuria, I think if you want to play into Immortals as Ulm, you probably want to play into Vampires more than Wraith Lords. So,
yeah, I was waiting to say that. I was like, why go for Wraith Lords? You're late age Ulm.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is like somebody soul slays a vampire and you're like, eh. Somebody soul slays a Wraith Lord and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can defeat Lemuria, which I have to plan for, even though I'm struggling, which I have to plan.
I think he's saying he still has to believe that Lemuria is one of the major threats, even if he's struggling because he's fighting Abyssia.
I don't think they'll peace out in the position they're in against me, which is so funny. This is like he's ghosted. So this Ulm player's ghosted Lemuria apparently, or Lemuria thinks so.
No, Calum ghosted Lemuria.
What did he say?
It's a good pun.
Hopefully to deal with Calum, even though I still don't really want to war with them, and they've ghosted me. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he's saying Calum isn't talking to Lemuria.
Gotcha. Should be able to get a lot of death gems for that, which will then just feed directly into my main strategy. And I already have good death anyway after more Site searching. Okay. Here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to see if there's a battle with Lemuria fighting Calum. This is a magic phase attack. This should work. There's really nothing here. My only critique is, do you really... If you're going on to just an empty province, do you really need 2 of these guys? Oh, one of them died. I guess you do. Apparently you do. How did this guy die?
You do.
Probably just got arrowed.
Magic weapon.
I'm wondering if he has the like banish undead,
wanting to get...
like the insta kill. Oh, one of them just got hit for 13.
Did you cast Holy Avenger? Oh, melee. You got hit for 22. Wow. It just cut off his arm.
Oh man, what a
yep,
oh, he's got a frostbrand. It's a prophet.
Damn. Oh, but look at this guy.
Oh, it's
this guy.
Prophet. Oh, okay.
That's the prophet.
Okay, I'll make that trade all day. Yeah, he got him right. Oh wait. Oh, he retreated.
Nope.
Oh, -4, but he's the prophet. Oof. I think he survives this. Most sacreds would die, but because he's the prophet, he's permanently blessed. So I think as long as he retreated... No, he's the prophet. I think he keeps it. Oh no, he's dead. Okay. Huh.
Rest in peace.
All right, more Lemuria on Calum.
There's a few in Hobergdorf.
Okay, little raid. Lemuria, Calum, Caves of Mira. Are these the magic weapon birds? Oh no.
No.
Some of them are. The brown ones are, yeah.
Brown and black wings. I know. Okay.
And this is in a cave.
Nice.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is going on with that cliff? I don't know.
Still worked.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for Lemuria. No. I mean, I think the problem is you're fighting in a cave and not all your guys have magic weapons. So these guys are attack 8. The ghosts have good defense.
Yeah, and the brown wing ones looked like they're just militia
Calum
units.
just barely clutches it. There's one guy spamming out skeletons in the back. Oh, it was all PD too. Okay, damn.
And that was all PD.
Well, that PD paid off here.
Huh? That's why it was militia.
Deerdom. I like Calum's rating pressure. It's really good. Mind Burn and Solar Rays. Okay, I like Solar Rays. I think Solar Rays is not going to work here against Horde of Skeletons, though. It would be good if this guy was, like, trying to thug. That's going to be expensive. That was this one. Yeah, he lost 4 mages here for the cost of 5 ghosts. And then Calum attacks here. Bunch of Storm Guard. I don't want to spoil the battle by going there. Okay, I think Calum is storming this fort. He has his fuck you army put together. Oh. That is a lot more inside than I thought.
Uh-oh.
That's at least 4 ghosts.
We've got Rigor Mortis.
100%. Is that it, though?
Obesity.
And you said this is Calum with big army?
There's some things that could get him. Like this guy with equal to obesity could survive the whole battle and defy being killed. But what we... Okay, this is going to be good, guys. What we know, here's what to expect. Calum is going to be jumping on them while also doing Thunderstrike and other shit. Like Storm, Thunderstrike. And then we're expecting like Advance and Cast Dust to Dust and Cleansing Waters. And these guys he's got have really high protection. They're 20 protection, though they're starving. Ooh. He might have missed one item on his checklist. The Lemuria checklist, you got to whip it out, right? One of the items on there is supply items.
Oh no. Well, it's hard for.
You just trade for it, man.
Yeah.
You tell people, "Hey, I'm fighting Lemuria. I need these." If people in the game don't trade you supply items, if you're gonna go solo fight or almost solo fight Lemuria, it wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be.
The game's only getting harder.
Like,
okay,
seriously.
this is one of the things I was talking about. He has his guys in big formations, and they're all on attack rear. And I think a better strategy when you have this many dudes is putting them all in smaller squads of like 20 and just have them on attack random with maybe 2 or 3 of them. So like 60 out of the total 300 that are on attack rear. Because you want to make sure you attack some of the rear because you might snipe commanders, but most of the people should be on attack random. Because the thing is that what matters here, like these guys are getting fucked, right? They're going to become paralyzed. These guys, and then these guys, sure, they're fighting, but like the back guys aren't fighting. And what you really want with flyers, especially with like a porous structure like this, is you want to like overwhelm them.
100%. And one important thing that happens occasionally too, if you have everyone on attack rear, sometimes your enemy just walks right up to your back line, kills your mages because you don't have anyone with them.
Things look reasonably safe over here. He's got the Raven Guard, which aren't going to be great at fighting the ghosts. Oh, some of these actual ghosts, not like the normal Lemurian infantry, are up here getting into it with the Raven Guard. These guys are spooky. Let's take a look. We've got Wailing Winds up. That is being cast by Calum, though. And that will affect ghosts. So ghosts are not like Long Dead. Long Dead have perfect morale. Ghosts do not. And then Natural Storm. So keep an eye on this guy. He may... Oh, he's at 8 hit points, though. 3 hit points. But Rigor Mortis is setting in. These guys are right at 100. Where's the Rigor Mortis caster?
Oh my god, all the birds around him are just like, nah.
Oh no, these guys are going to have gone to sleep now. Oh no, they're not all asleep. Yeah, they're not asleep yet. What turn is it? It's turn 9 and not everybody's asleep. A lot of the birds have run. Now, they had bad morale. Like, look at this. Dead. Okay, let's get to the birds. Retreated. They were starving.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. They really should have had that.
I think this is one of the reasons why... I've said this many times, but like... This is why I'm like hesitant to like try to call in nerfs for Lemuria. Oh wait, they killed the console. Oh, if they get this guy... I mean, I think it's still going to be a Pyrrhic victory because I don't even know where they'll retreat to. He doesn't even have armor. How can y'all not fucking kill him?
20 defense.
Fair.
22 defense. It's going up.
Lemurs, yeah.
I will say I'm surprised he's not instantly dead.
He's just dodging it.
What's the attack
They're
skill?
all frozen. They're not attacking.
That's... Well... Yeah. Because they should have hold resistance.
So there's no... Yeah, there's no...
But yeah, the Rigor Mortis.
Rigor. One thing you can do, I think you should do as Calum, is here. So these guys, they should be on advance and cast, by the way. Ooh, 9 reinvigoration. But these guys, 100%. You can just put an Earth Gem on them, and that's going to mean they're never going to fall asleep if they do summon Earth Power for Rigor Mortis. And you have them on advance and cast, and they'll be dust to dusting. And that's going to be really good at dealing with like this exact situation. Wait, did they kill him? They killed him.
Wake up.
So Calum wins, and on one hand, it looked like a very Pyrrhic victory in the fight. But they have one province to retreat to, and it looks like most everything retreated.
Yeah, he traded 2 mages for
That
all
was
of
500
his ghosts.
ghosts. Lemuria cannot keep doing that. Um, yeah, one more fight after. If they take one more fight where they lose 500 ghosts, they're going to be down to the point where they can't really defend themselves. But they can have one more big fight. The problem is that look how many supplies. There's no supplies here, and this actually is really important, and it's not intuitive. And in some ways, it's kind of a bug in the game. Is the way supply items work is they don't give you more supplies in the province. They decrease the number of supplies that you need. And why that's important is because the way it calculates how many of your units get diseased is based on how many supplies do you need compared to how many supplies are in the province. So if you need, let's say not many, you only need 50 supplies, but there's only 11 supplies in the province, then you're going to have 80% of your army getting diseased. Now, to have it where you only need 50 supplies, you would have to have like 400 supply of items on this army or something stupid, you know? So, point is when you are attacking into 0 population provinces that have actually no supply, you actually need like a buffer. Like, you do not want to go over even by 1. You know, like, you must fully cover your supplies. Otherwise, everybody's going to starve and start getting diseased and shit.
Yep.
And I wouldn't ever expect a new player to know that. So, you know, and I think we had checked this earlier, right, Grippo? Like, somebody in here had supply items. I don't know who they were, but I think you were saying some of the generals or...
I think it was the Bodavista. I think it was the Bodavista. She's got one. Yeah, he said 1. But I don't recall seeing another one. I think it was just
because we were scrolling through here looking for items and stuff, but you can put them on scouts too. That's the other thing. That's actually, in my opinion, the optimal way to use supply items, is you have them on scouts hidden with your army. That way you don't risk losing the items. But if you don't have them, you just put them on the commanders you think are least likely to die. Okay. This...
I recall last turn saying, which province do you think Lemuria would attack with the 2 labs? Well, he attacked both of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's where those attacks
were. He called that pretty good. He attacked here too. It's hard to magic phase thugs into these, so I think these you have to intercept with traditional armies. You can also out-horde skeletons them, especially if you have one of your guys on advancing cast with dust to dust. That's another way to kind of deal with this. Or summon big air elementals. But he needs to be using his mage core, I think. I mean, he's got reserves coming in too, so he could, you know... There's some pretty logical moves. Like, you patrol these forts, you move here and here, maybe here. I think this is pretty likely. Like, if I were Lemuria, I'd be salivating over this.
I mean, I feel like a squad of just one of the death mages with maybe 20 of these magic weapon spears could do it. If you have the spears, just attack rear turn 1 and then have the death mage on advancing cast. The attack rear should prevent the death mage from getting more than 1 cast, or just they only get 1 cast off. And then eventually, if they for whatever reason can't kill the dude, your dust to dust caster will get there and
the other thing that's a little spicy about this is these Grand Lemurs are in labs, so he might hit them up or teleport them. You know, that's always an option when they hit a lab. I don't think they're the Astral 3 ones, but you can still just put a Starshine Skullcap on. He probably doesn't have that research, but you know, he could have a crystal coin or something maybe. Did he death empower this guy? He death empowered this guy.
Too. Neat.
Okay. Yeah, they're stealthy too. They're one of the best units in the game, I think. All right, Zan, what do you do with Lemuria? Do you push on or cut losses? If you're Calum, supply items.
he should be winning these battles by a landslide, not
Right.
any of these Pyrrhic
Right.
victories or half retreat. Get supply items.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. You can also do some kind of interesting things where, like, you can take any of the anti-undead weapons and you could potentially fluff up some of your commanders. You know, like this guy. Just put, like, an anti-undead weapon and hit him with, like, Iron Warriors from one of these guys. So something like that. You could have, like, 2 of these guys with basic things, and that's going to just make...
Oh. You want
to
hear something cool about those guys? If you give them Armor of Knights and a better helmet, they can get up to, I think, 30 protection with 0 nat prot. So then if you do bring an Iron Warriors caster, I think they went up to
40, yeah.
36?
Yeah.
I think it was like 36. So that's
right.
Really damn tanky.
And with an undead weapon, you'll just be... And maybe you put, like, a little bit of reinvigoration on them. Like, maybe you put, like, a little Girdle of Might. You know, you could do a Herald Lance if you wanted to, and I think they'll keep their shield. It's like 2 of these guys with a Herald Lance and a Girdle of Might. They're not sacred, so you don't have to worry about apostasy even. And then you put Armor Knights on if you want to, because they've got a decent hat already. Mm-hmm. And put Iron Warriors on them. GG. Yeah,
you can get rid of their shield. That ice protection or whatever, that's part of the chassis. Even though there is a shield cost, I say it'll actually stack too.
Maybe you want the shield, but yeah, I mean,
so
you could
do
get
want
rid
to
of
give
it
them
too,
that
and double stack weapons or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at 36 protection, how worried are you of those ghosts actually like hurting you?
I mean, I guess the shield probably gives you encumbrance too. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that'd be a cool thing to add in. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if you don't have, how I would put it is this way: if you can't get supply items, I think you take a little breather and get some fucking supply items. I don't think you don't keep going with this, because, like, we'll just take a look at the army and see how much you're starving. I guarantee you, it's like everybody, yeah, because it's the way this supply fucking thing works. They're gonna get diseased. You care about these units, like you want to kill Lemuria, but you don't really want them all getting diseased and shit.
Yep.
So, supply items.
That's rough.
I think I have to make a video, the anti-Lemuria checklist, at some point, and just publish it as a standalone. Because that's the main reason Lemuria is so good, is people don't know how to fight them. Okay. Though I guess you could say that about a lot of factions, but... So he's raiding into Ulm. They haven't made peace. He's just taking tons of land. Ulm is worried about dealing with Abyssia. So Ulm rides out, but this is like Abyssia's huge army with tons of crossbows. He's got a big communion here.
I'm concerned about the livelihoods of those mages and these crossbow volleys.
Falling Fire is starting to come out. A bunch of fire elementals. I think the crossbows were on Holding Fire, but they're not... But they weren't in range at the start.
Oh, it's flaming arrows.
Yeah, you can see Iron Blizzard looks like it's trying to target some of these fire elementals, and then, oh god, they're going for the mages.
And they're just incinerating the heavy cav.
Yeah, they don't have fire resistance on these guys. Oh, they are literally incinerating the heavy cav.
Yeah, they're casting Incinerate as the leading one every turn.
Incinerate's a good spell.
What was the play here? He's doing Stellar Cascades. The problem with... Okay, there's a lot of problems with Stellar Cascades. Did he do... Okay. Now, yeah, anti-magic now helps against it, which Abyssia can do. But it just doesn't work as well. Like, when they put in the thing where... It used to be, like, a really powerful spell. But I think it was Dominions 5 or maybe a patch. They made it so there's an MR check involved. And if you fail the MR check, you take half fatigue. Just the base MR troops have means it's significant. It was a nerf even if you were just a normal troop. Right? Because you're you now can just take half damage a lot of the time from the fatigue. And versus this many troops, like Stellar Cascades is good versus like a squad of a few elites, you know, but there's just too much stuff here. So I don't think the mage plan was necessarily a great one.
Yeah, and Abyssians have naturally higher magic resist.
That's cool.
Yeah, they and the lizards.
So
have that.
This is going to be hard to crawl back from after some of the other losses he's had.
A lot of Black Templars.
You honestly probably could thug this army with like the vampire dude he had. If he just stacked enough fire resistance on him, I think he could have thugged it.
The salamanders would have dusted him. They're death mages now.
But were they on advance and cast?
Oh. If they're doing Incinerate, I think they were. I hope so.
They are not. Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
I'm pretty sure he could have thugged this, but you know, Monday morning quarterback.
That's two fights. That's two fights where we see that the players on the strategic layer, they're doing the right thing. They're bringing their mages. They're bringing good composition armies, but they're not. They don't have like an effective spell for their mages to be casting.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, kind of the right thing. I mean, at the strategic level, I think they're still wrong. I don't think... Like, if I wasn't going to try to thug this army, which I think I could do, like I was going to fight it army to army with this, I don't think I could script this army to beat this, even if you let me know exactly what Abyssia was going to do. I think it'd be hard. It'd be really hard.
Yeah, with 16 fire mages and most of them just casting Incinerate, there goes all your heavy guys.
I mean, maybe there's some Jedi thing. I mean, if you gave it to me for days to sit and think about, I could probably think of something. But I think just... But then if you put me in Abyssia's position and I knew that I was playing Ulm, so I was going to try to do some Jedi shit, then I would still win as Abyssia. You know, like, I just think the fight's much favored. And I could be wrong, but I think it's, like, just super favored to Abyssia. But I think on top of that, you start with this was strategically a bad fight, and then you add to it there wasn't really a great game plan for the mages, like Stellar Cascades wasn't the spell. You know, he would have been better off putting luck on the Black Templar. That would have been a lot better. Especially if you knew he'd be doing Incinerate, which I don't think I knew, but...
That spell I always forget about until it just starts deleting my dudes, and I'm like,
my goodness. Right. Itimu, honk honk.
Both arms this time.
My favorite video I've made.
I agree.
The cucumber. On one hand, you should easily be able to kill this guy with these big two-hand sword-toting dudes. I mean, honestly, with Strength of Giants, they probably would have killed him. On the other hand, it's a Timu. Solar Ray is really good, just not enough. How many Solar Rays casters did he have? Wait, who was the Solar Rays caster? It was this guy? Wait, I'm missing it. Who's casting Solar Rays?
He's got another.
Yeah, but how does he get Holy too?
He's got two black
Astral too.
Isn't Solar Rays Astral 1?
Oh, it was Holy Word, not Solar Rays. Okay. I think they have similar animations.
Oh, no, yeah. Solar Rays is Astral 2.
I would say the wheels are officially off the Ulm wagon. There they go.
Yeah, there they go.
We've done Jomen, and we haven't done Statist. All right, Lost Earth Astral Fire Mage Fort, but at least I took a Tyrant down with it. I think they'll move to retake 87, so I'm going to go bring every Deathborn or Death 2 Reborn I have and the useful bits of my army from 2 turns ago to get a big fight. I need to win one to stay in right now. Some of this is just a Agrippa mindset to stay in right now. He should have been beating Phlegra in this.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Long enough for Calum to potentially enter and hit the exposures north of Phlegra if their Lemuria war goes well. Oof, that hit a road bump too. We don't have any... Oh, wait. Bad news, Phlegra has their Draken back, which means, I assume, is a regen bless. So they probably have that back on Tyrants now. Let us see what happens in the world of Phlegra. Do we finally get a battle? The battle we've been waiting for. Oh, we do.
Nice.
Does this...
Nice.
I knew Zan would
Does
love
this many
this
chariots
image.
make you hard, Zan?
Ah, yes.
He's gonna need.
And hold on, it's not just the chariots. The Phlegra's also using the Cyclops.
Is that Banefire?
It's like a double nice.
Oh, he doesn't have Phoenix Pyre, though. Oh, it's Enklados.
Enklados.
Oh, man.
He's also really. He's really right on top of mages.
To stand down Enklados. He's only got one Girdle of Might.
Oh, I think he got
he's
Berserk.
Definitely Berserk. He's very angry.
He's angry.
But where are the Banefires? Banefires. Oh, they're coming out.
Right behind him.
Oh, I don't think... This is one of the weird things.
They might not cast
That's
it
exactly what I was going to say. They're not going to cast it.
I know that's the problem of fucking... That's what happened to me when I was fighting your Phlegra ass, and I was like, oh man, he's going to jump in with his guy with Banefire, and none of them would cast it. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
So that's one of the misconceptions, I think, with... When people talk about late age Statist, they just solve all their problems with Banefires. I don't think super combatants are one you can easily solve with Banefires. You have to solve it with Disintegrate, and that's much later. It's actually a big weakness of the nation, I think. Another reason why I like Crocdog.
That's
Heals
true.
with super combatants.
Oh, they're casting Enslaved Mind on the other guys, though. They're taking the Giants.
Oh, Foul Vapors, though. I think Foul Vapors is what actually is swinging this battle.
Yep, it'll kill all the little humans. Cyclops, just kind of shrug it off. They have like 40-something hit
But
points.
he's Enslaved Minding some of the larger dudes there at the front.
Yeah,
He's
the
got his own little
chariots
line
seem
of
to
them.
be mostly gone.
Dead.
Yeah. If your chariot survived the fight, you didn't do it right.
Ooh, Soul Slay.
Off he goes.
Foul Vapors without
He
recruitable
didn't
caster
do...
cast Soul
Did
Slay.
he do...
That fight was beautiful.
He
That
didn't
fight
have
was
twice
beautiful.
born on these. One of the things you kind of want to do with on some of the... Especially if you were to send Enklados into combat, you would definitely want him twice borned. But he got Soul Slayed.
I like the Gigante with the human formation.
So Statist gets one Cyclops soldier in exchange for 98 chariots, loses a Lizard King, a Magus,
Good trade.
and 2 High Priests. That's a beautiful fight.
Yeah, that's a beautiful fight. I'll lose 100 chariots to kill.
Yeah, this is a pretty
All that
big
crap.
loss. Let's watch this again. Let's see what Phlegra's game plan was, because we kind of saw Statist. Statist was like Foul Vapors. We'll just watch this again slow. Let's see what their game plan is.
Phlegra lost all 3 Tyrants, damn.
I don't... Okay, I see a little bit of Legions of Steel going out, but that's hitting the crossbows. Oh, that was a big... Look at that Banefire right here.
They're
Just
so
deleting those
protected
dudes.
now.
That's interesting. With a Cyclops and a human in the square, you'd think that would get targeted.
And then protect those
But I
crossbows at
don't
all
think
costs.
these guys... Did they get hit by... Oh yeah, they've been hit by Legions of Steel. Okay.
By Legion? Yeah.
It's not great Legions of Steel coverage, but he got a decent amount. Okay. Strength of Giants? Yeah, okay. So he got the basics.
So this is the third battle this turn. This is the third battle this turn where one army is trying to bludgeon the other to death, and the other army is
Phlegra, I was
casting
going to
magic.
see, did Phlegra do magic? They did, I think, the bare minimum of magic. They've got, Strength of Giants, Legions of Steel, right? Which, it's not like advanced tech, but it's something. Yeah.
It's also turn 48.
What we don't really see, and this is, I think, like where you start seeing kind of Phlegra's level up, is I don't really see a really powerful communion from him.
Look, I just need to say that I want Statist to win the game because he's renaming all of his
Bill?
mages.
Joe
and it's
Billy?
amazing. Jim Bob the Magus, Joptimus Prime.
Wait, what the fuck is this guy doing? A presser general with 20 gems of gear on?
He's a communion master.
Well, those guys are native.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But I think
Oh man.
3 slaves. Yeah, I mean, I think what you want to be
Technically,
aiming to
that's
do with
communion.
Phlegra by this time is have pretty fucking cool communions to do some of the things.
Paint Fire Bro.
But yeah, what else is up? We've got, this is, Wailing Winds. Okay, so Wailing Winds and Foul Vapors. Yeah. And then he has Enslaved Mind Spam and Soul Slay and shit to deal with the Tyrants. This is a pretty solid plan. I think he would have won this even if, like, the Tyrants had Phoenix Pyre. Which is kind of the next obvious thing.
Yeah, he's Soul Slayed.
Yeah, Galactus got Soul Slade. He gone for good.
I think that there's a big issue with Phlegra's game plan here, and that he doesn't have Foul Vapors and still takes large fights like that. Like, no, I'm sorry, Foul Vapors resistances. Like, he doesn't have Poison Ward or anything. And, like, you should not be rolling around with a giant army like that against a Statist and be without protection.
Yeah. It's not really a surprise that Statist is doing Foul Vapors anymore.
This isn't even the first time it's happened.
And he's got, he has access to, like, the Oppressor headbands or whatever. They give you Phoenix or Communion Master. And usually you'd get, like, an Indie Nature Mage. Toss one of those on him. Have him do Serpent's Blessing. I think the main thing Statist needs to do now is get these guys out of the fucking capital. Like, it's kind of like he takes all his mental energy and he's put it into this one battle. It's like, great. You can't only have one major battle a turn, right? Like, take all raid, move a second major army out, do something, you know? Like, this was obviously like a huge important step for him, but I hope what we see next turn is him emptying the capital out.
Yeah, I want to see them full out attack.
I think that's it. This is kind of long. Oh my god, we're almost at an hour.
Damn it, we did it again.
It's a good thing you mentioned that, 'cause I had to get a bounce. I'm
Yeah.
glad I stuck around to see that
All
fight.
right, well, thank you all for watching, and thank you, Grippa and Zan, for joining me. Take care.
Absolutely.
See you.
Love it. Have a good one.